Hello everyone, BigDos is here and welcome to another video. In this video we're gonna look at the other side plus 20 I did earlier as the Beast Mastery Hunter. But we're not gonna do just a run, we're gonna do it with the talent setup that I think we're gonna be using in patch 9.2. And so this video will give you an idea on how the rotation will work then. And this is something you can already try out now that 9.1.5 is still live. So yeah, we're gonna discuss a bit about that and see how it works DPS wise, and of course all the numbers will differ because we will have more stats and everything, but yeah. Alright, so what are we gonna do? There's a simple change. We run with a talent called Killer Cobra. What does it do? When you activate Bestial Rat for 15 seconds, while your Bestial Rat's active, your Cobra shot will reset the cooldown of your kill command. So what you will get is a Cobra shot, kill command, Cobra shot, kill command. So this is the first part of what is gonna change. The second part of it is we're gonna run with a conduit that if your kill command will critically strike, the cooldown of your Aspect of the Wild will be reduced by, well, for me now it's 2.9 seconds. If you have a higher conduit, it will be a bigger cooldown reduction. So yeah. As you can see in the center of the screen, you will see my Aspect of the Wild and my Wild Spirits. Both are 2-minute cooldown, and I use them, and I used some kill commands in between. And as you can see, there's about a 30-second difference in between the two. So that is something that is gonna change, and I don't know if it's for the best, but you will be able to use a lot more Aspect of the Wild this way. For now I'm currently sitting on, and now I actually just used it, but I was sitting on it. That's not a good idea with this build because you will actually keep using it. Something else, we are playing as a Night Fae. Why is that? Because Night Fae is probably gonna be the strongest spec in 9.2 because it will amp up our single target damage, and I think Beast Mastery will become a single target spec throughout the entire expansion, the entire patch, which is the rest of this expansion. Don't mind the noobish mistake I made there by walking out too late. Let's not pay too much attention to that. But what the difference, or what this build is going to do for us, is we will be focusing more on like specific targets and cleaving them down. Because what does our 2 set and our 4 set do? Our 2 set, when we get it, will give us a higher crit chance on our kill command. Combine this with the conduit I said earlier, is the more crits on kill command, the higher the time, the bigger the time reduction on your Aspect of the Wild. Alright? Yeah. So the 2 set will make sure that our kill command will crit more, and therefore our Aspect of the Wild, our big damage dealing cooldown, although it's not really that strong, will deal more damage. The 4 set does, when your kill command actually does crit, your Cobra shot will also deal increased damage. So you see there that there is a synergy between like your Cobra shot and your kill command. So you want a lot of critting kill commands, because you want a lot of then higher damage dealing Cobra shots. Yeah? Sounds easy. And there is where our talent comes in, that you will rotate between kill command and Cobra shot, the Killer Cobra talent. That's it. So that's the thing that you want to do, and that's probably the playstyle we're gonna be doing in the entire expansion. This is single target focused. Our tier set is, yeah, it's not great, or well, no, personally I don't think it's the best tier set, because it really emphasizes our strength with this single target, which is great for raids, by the way, but for Mythic Plus it's not so great. That is where we have to evolve more or less in something that I think that we can be doing as a Beast Mastery Hunter to make us very viable in Mythic Plus, and that is if you have more like a focused target that you need to cleave down. I am trying to show you examples throughout this dungeon, but it's not something that I've mastered yet, but it's something that you can, as a player, can already think about when we're going into 9.2 it's something that you might be able to do and consider the playstyle of it. Because, for example, this dungeon, this week is actually quite a good week to show, because we have Inspired. Inspired mobs need to be taken down ASAP. Why is that? Because they cancel out any crowd control effects that you can do on other mobs, right? So what we want to do here is we want to focus that mob. So we want to actually focus down that mob quickly. And what we can do with our kill command, Cobra Shot, kill command, Cobra Shot, it's really pumping a lot of damage in one target. So yeah, that's something that we will be doing probably throughout the entire expansion. And that is what can help us be viable in Mythic Plus. Because we can kill the priority targets fairly quickly, I think. I don't know how the numbers will be. I have not played the PTR, so I have no idea how it works, how the numbers will scale. We will all see that in 9.2. But I think that is the playstyle that we are going to be doing. And I think that's okay. That's the Beast Mastery playstyle. And if you want to be a more AoE focused playstyle, this is a bit awkward. But if you want to be a more AoE focused playstyle, then we're gonna probably be not playing BM, but maybe survival. That's something that I'm thinking of, at least. So we're also gonna be strong in boss weeks, because we'll be fighting longer in single target. And the longer you are in single target, well, the more time we have to just purely focus. We don't have to multi-shot, so we can just purely focus our intent on Cobra Shot and kill command, Cobra Shot and kill command. And if you combine that with the conduit and you have enough crit, that way we will deal, I think, very good single target damage, but also our aspect of the wild will be off cooldown very quickly. So yeah. Thing to note though, in this build, or in the way I think we're gonna play it, it's still important that you use your barb shot on many different targets. So you should be swapping targets to dot up every target with barb shot, but then come back to your priority target, so you can kill that one. I don't know how we're gonna, or how I'm gonna do that, because I click the different mobs. I don't tap target, I click the different mobs, and so I might make a macro or something. Well, I say I make, but I don't know how to make proper macro, so I probably find a macro. And the macro that I will find, hopefully, I can make a focus target, so I can easily swap back to that focus target. So yeah. By the way, this dungeon, as you can see, we're doing a different route than normal. It's a +20, so I assumed the tank knew what he was doing. I find this a bit of a weird route, because now we're missing one of the tormented that actually deals damage. But yeah, this is the route that he decided. And here we are waiting for our mage to go invis and actually, how do you say that, click the button with the engineering, so the slimes in the next part don't come through. So yeah. Alright, so here we have to go stealth. The downside is, on this one, I used my aspect of the cheetah about, 2 minutes earlier, because it's 1 minute cooldown left. So yeah, it's very awkward now, because the potion doesn't really last that long. So I can't really go past the other one. Luckily, the warrior had the same problem. And, sadly he died, but yeah. So that's that. Alright. The legendary that we're currently using as well is the Night Fae one. I think that's a pretty good one. Although for this dungeon, it's questionable if it's really good, but yeah, that's the one that we are using. Synergy wise, if you go into 9.2, we will get Rhylikes and this one. So it will be stronger in single target, or fewer targets, 4 or less. So we're going to be strong on that point. But also, if we start like doing our kill command, Cobra Shot, kill command, Cobra Shot thing, it is in our how do you say that? It is in our bestial red phase, because when we bestial red, we can do that. And our legendary Rylix will make it so that our bestial red phase is an increased damage of the critical strikes that you do. So it's pretty nice. I think the tier set, although it doesn't do shit in AoE, and that's why I think it's not great for Mythic Plus, it will be good in raiding, and I think we will have a very strong position in like boss weeks, for example. So yeah. And now we just keep on going, and also a little bit of focusing on the dungeon, of course, because beside that, I talked about this dungeon a couple of times with you guys, and you guys voted for this dungeon as well. But yeah, this fight is very straightforward. If you stand in between the beam and the boss, then you soak that damage, then you will become stronger as well. So that is something that you could be doing, depending on if you can stay alive, of course, because it will do taking damage and it will actually hurt you. So yeah. That's the thing I think is a problem though with this especially the conduit and the build, that you will have higher how do you say that, that your aspect of the wild will be coming up faster. It's like there is no synergy then with your wild spirits. Like there's no synergy whatsoever. So yeah, that's I think that is a problem. We have the amazing luck that we keep getting the bombs on our face. Luckily we stay alive. It is quite important that you use like some sort of defensive at this point, because it is boss week, so the bosses actually do hit pretty hard. So yeah, that's why I used my survival of the fittest the first time. The second time I used, I think, exhilaration right after I survived the initial hit, and then instantly into a how do you say that, exhilaration. So yeah. So after all this rambling, if you do like the content that I'm making, then consider leaving a like and or subscribing to the channel. It helps me out a ton. I greatly appreciate all the support that I'm getting of you guys. So yeah, please keep on doing it. My goal is I started 16th of July last year, and I hope to achieve 1,000 subs at the end, or by the time of 16th of July. So if you like the content, well, consider subscribing. Besides that, I'm also trying to improve the channel, and if there is something that you want to see, or you have feedback for me in any way, shape or form, then please let me know. Let me know in the comments, like if there is something specific that you want to see. I'm thinking more of like orienting more on the entire spectrum of Hunter, because currently I'm mostly playing Beast Mastery and well, survival now as well. But yeah, if there's something that you want to see, then let me know. Besides that, I'm also thinking about streaming, not like every day, because I can't do that with work, but like streaming now and again. If that is something that you would like to see, let me know as well. Here we finished this, and now it's gonna get awkward, because you easily have to skip this, and I don't know why, but it just got aggroed. The priest just walked forward, and now we're just standing there. He's casting Haywire, and the tank decided to walk in. I don't know what's the plan. Suddenly we're all discussing that we should die, and then this takes forever. Just dying, I don't know why it takes forever. I dismissed my pets there, so he not first starts attacking my pets, and then he calls Haywire, of course, so here I am, just standing. to go into a pod, so this will take even longer. And now the aggro stops for a minute, he walks back, and then he slaps me in the face. It's a bit awkward. But you will see this entire dungeon is a bit awkward, because doing this boss first is already not that great, but okay. And here we wait again for the mob to move. When he moves, then you will be then you will make sure that you can move afterwards around the other side and easily skip it. Still, overall, our damage at this point is 9.6k, which is not all that bad. I've got higher numbers, but thinking about the fact that we are not having the tier set, so a lot of the synergy that we're building on right now is not actually there, or the damage to back it up. I think it's still pretty okay. Killer Cobra is a decent talent to play around with. The playstyle, especially in AoE, is a bit wonky. Like, you can't get that many how do you say that? You can't get that many kill commands off, because you will still need to do multi-shot, and you will still need to make sure that you are how do you say that? You will still need to make sure that you barb shot everything and stuff like that. So in AoE, the talent is a bit wonky. There, of course, when he started to rage, I used Hunter's Mark, because I have the conduit to reduce the damage, and I used Feign Death to furthermore reduce the damage as well. Here I Hunter's Mark him as well, because I want to reduce the damage he is doing to me. And I think I'm currently line of sighting the healer most of the time, which is not great, so I should be moving up here. But it's all a bit awkward in the placement. I find this one, especially here on the stairs, always very, very annoying. But yeah. As you can see, and we didn't have any cooldowns up for this, our group damage, especially in single target from the mage and the warrior, is not that great. And so we are trying to make sure that we're getting there, but yeah, without cooldowns, it's a bit difficult. And there we have him. Easy peasy. Like for example here, and I need to make like a focus macro or something that I can easily get back to the cultist. But here, what you want to do, and I mean the inspired cultist then, of course, makes sense, right? But what you want to do is barb shot different targets, and then come back to the cultist, so that you, if you have free focus, that you will put that into kill commanding the cultist, because you will do a lot of damage probably on him by then. Because your kill command is critting harder, and thanks to the Rylak Stalker's Piercing Fangs, which you have, your crits will also deal more damage. So you can take a serious chunk out of the HP of like a more focused target scenario. Here, after this, always mount back up to go back up, instead of using your movement abilities. This is something I sometimes forget, but most of the times I get it right by now, which we are more than a year into the expansion. Okay, let's not talk about that. But don't use your movement abilities there. And why is that? Because you want to use it in this phase. For some reason, always I stand there and think that I'm safe, but for some reason I'm never really safe. But yeah, we survived that, and we went through. And now we're on to the next part. So this part of the dungeon, yeah, you don't really want the Night Fae Legend, or the Night Fae Legendary, of course, doesn't do really anything here. But yeah, luckily we have our Aspect of the Wild back up, so we have the 10% increased critical strike chance as well, for us to be dealing quite a lot of lovely damage here, which is pretty good. But yeah, we're doing it without the Wild Spirit, so greatly reduces our burst potential. But yeah, again, this rune stack, for example, if I had like a focus macro, I could be coming back to him more easily, making sure that he dies more quickly, that therefore making me able to use my binding shot to bind these mobs so the tank can kite easier. Those are the little things that I could be doing to improve, and what we need to be doing in patch 9.2, because it's definitely something that we will be needing to do.
One of the more ruthless Marsworn draws close. Be ready.
Same here with Varut, just coming back to him with your kill commands and then using your barb shots on the other targets as well, and one on him of course as well. Alright, there he charged me. As I told you many times, make sure that you feign death, easy peasy, and you will stay alive. I decided to throw down my tar trap so the tank could run, because the tank is really not getting his HP up. The healer's either having trouble or the tank is not using his defensive properly. I don't know what's happening, but it's quite exciting sometimes. The downside. I have not really talked about the downside of this build yet. Besides, well, I talked about it a little because of the AoE. But one of the downsides, I think, is you are getting focus starved really, really, really badly. It's terrible. And that's where another thing comes in. This build could actually also work if you play with Venthyr or Necrolord. Maybe Kyrian, but the Kyrian, maybe Kyrian, but I'll leave that in the middle for now. But you can play it with the Venthyr and Necrolord. And why is that? Because their legendary will deal a tremendous amount of AoE targets, but it's also a very low cooldown. And if you keep on reducing the cooldown of your Aspect of the Wild, then you will very likely have your Aspect of the Wild more often combined with your Venthyr arrow, I don't know, and your Necrolord Covenant ability, the Chakram thing. So that actually could be good. I think we're gonna go Night Fae because the burst is just simply higher, and the higher burst usually means it's better for bigger pools. And in the end, you want to have very big pools, because that way you go through the dungeon very quickly. Alright, so here we make a mistake, and nobody's using their abilities. I stun one. What should I have done? I should have used my freezing trap. Sadly, the warrior didn't use the sphere, or the priest didn't use the sphere. The people were not using their abilities, which results into, sadly, a wipe here. But yeah, I try to kill as much as I can. But sadly, the Angering Shriek goes off, and when the Angering Shriek goes off, all the mobs get 50% increased damage. Yeah, that's just GG. Here I try to even kite it out for some reason, assuming, and at this point I thought that the healer was dead, but the healer was not actually dead. He's not dead yet. And so what I think, and this is just stupid of me, I thought the healer died. So I assumed he was already running, but he was not running. And so I lay down and just waited. But yeah, that's stupid, because now they have to walk back and rest me. I should have released earlier, but okay. Let's just skip on, because it's very boring to see me lie down there for the majority of the time. And now we keep on going into the dungeon. Alright, so tank, what are we gonna do? He decides to jump that way. And he's gonna do a very big pull here. We have our cooldowns because we laid on the ground for way too long. But yeah, we have our cooldowns back, which is nice. And here you want to actually, of course, have your Spirit of the Elder Antlers. No, not your Spirit of the Elder. You want your Rhylac Stalker's Crystal Piercing Fangs. I want to say Crystal Greaves. I don't know why that is. Why is that, guys? I don't know. Who cares? But as you can see, I'm getting focus starved here pretty quickly because I try to do more kill commands, of course. But yeah, that is not really that great. Luckily, the tank starts kiting early this time, so he doesn't take all the hits and go and dies immediately. So yeah. I would have loved to play that pool as a survival hunter, because then you would have easily topped like 50k, 60k DPS, bursting the thing down. Again, my headset decides to die. This is getting a team by now. If you watch multiple of my videos, you will see that my headset keeps on dying. Or at least I will tell you, because I don't think you can actually hear it. I don't know. I'm holding my stun here, focus targeting the Bladebeak hatchling, and then I see that everything is slowly dying. So I decide to that it is okay, and that I can actually kill it, or don't have to focus it anymore. But talking about the headset dying, I think it's time for a new one. But yeah, let's see. Here, what I would have liked to see, and this is like, I think, the difference between a good tank and a tank that is still learning. How did I say that? I said that very nicely. Why are we standing there? There are two meagerly mobs that don't really possess any real threat or are not special in any way, shape or form. And then you wait and you just stand there. Why? Why not go and already collect these? Especially as a demon hunter, because you can just jump in and keep on jumping, like grab threat and then keep going. So yeah, that is also very sad, of course, because why don't we move out of the hunter's wild spirits for, like, if he has 5 seconds or maybe even longer left? Because why do we want his damage? Well, yeah, those are I think the differences with a good tank and a bad tank, is that they are not aware of what is happening and not like continuously keep going. But yeah, that is something that I think. It is difficult. It's a lot more difficult to play, I think, than playing BM and just following. I played a lot of tanks, so I actually do know a little bit about what I'm talking about. Alright, so here we used all our CDs earlier with all the mobs. I didn't want to hold on to them for too long. But here we can just do our kill commands, Cobra Shot, kill command, Cobra Shot. And you have to think, our damage will be a lot higher with our tier set, because both our kill command and our, how do you say it? Cobra Shot will both deal a lot more damage. So this, now it's like whatever, it's not really that much stronger, but with our 2 set, or with our 4 set, we will most definitely make a difference here. So if by now you're still watching the video and you like this content, then consider leaving a like and or subscribing to the channel. It helps me out a ton. Here I actually hold on to my cooldowns for a bit, because I wanted to make sure that all overlap. So I wanted to use my IQD, my Aspect of the Wild and my Wild Spirits all at the same time. So I had the highest possible uptime on the damage. That's why I waited there just a little bit. This fight is always quite difficult. I think what we're doing wrong here, and that's why the warrior died there, is we're not bouncing the how do you say that, the lightning stacks. Like, the warrior had a lot of lightning stacks, and this is something I think I should be doing more, is like walking into melee maybe and grabbing over the lightning. Now it's between me and the priest, for example. And that is fine. I can just use my survival of the fittest to make sure that I survive. That I did not survive because the as you could have seen, the lightning went through, making me half HP. But I also had the bomb, so I jumped up. But yeah, I had the bomb still on me. So yeah, that was really awkward. But because the new jumping platform thingies were spawned while I was in the pod, I did not actually get one. So I turtled there, and then you can actually just survive it. It's fine. You can easily just survive that. And that is how we finish the fight. Now we have 10 minutes left, and we have one wing to do, including Hakkar. By this time, the amount of wipes we had, you know you're not gonna finish the dungeon in time. We're at the end of the how do you say that? I've said that a lot today. I keep forgetting words. English is hard sometimes, guys. We're at the end of the Mythic Plus cycle, so it really doesn't matter anymore if you get score or not. And I really wanted to make finish the dungeon so I could show you guys some footage that you asked for, and I could have talked about this build with you guys. So yeah, here I checked the map. Like, is there a route quicker to Hakkar? I just decided to go this way. It's about the same, I think. So yeah, but normally I think after the second wipe you would have seen the group, especially on a plus 20, where people are actually trying to get some higher keys done. You see just people leave, but yeah. And we had some awkward, I wasted a lot of time just lying dead, and that pool, we wasted time with the mob, the drill guy. So yeah, there's a lot of time wasted here, but yeah. And then this happens, which is fine. We're not dying to it, but why would you aggro when half the group is not here? And then we're not gonna try and just burst them down, like the three of them. Why would you pull that? It made no sense. What also made no sense was that I popped everything there. Because nice, that pack is dead, but now I don't have anything for this pack, which is far more deadly. The other part, what we just did, would have been, I think, more deadly in mob week, but we're in boss week, so we're fine on that front. And here you can see the build really start to a little bit come to fruition, because there's not that many targets, so I can easily swap to the guy that I'm focusing right now. I can't find the word, because I really want to kill him before the Hexer does its heal. Because, yeah, if the Hexer does its heal, then we have a problem. So, yeah, you want to make sure that you do that. And that's why I was really focusing that mob down with my kill commands and cobra shots. So, yeah. Here, when the dead walkers die, of course, always be mindful of it. Because the spirit will spawn, as you will see shortly there. And we have warrior in melee, so he might get hit, or if the mage or me is not paying attention, or the healer or the tank. So yeah, there I also focus it and just make sure that I throw it in, because it will fly from the back. People are not paying attention, maybe focusing on killing these guys, and then you get smacked once, you die, and it's all very sad. As a mage, by the way, don't spell steal it, because then you will also die, but yeah, just so you know. I doubt there will be a mage watching this, so. This, I think, was actually quite tricky, because I don't... Oh, it was actually not that tricky. I did not know that Demon Hunter actually imprisoned the High Priest. So yeah. I thought he was in the pool. I probably remembered incorrectly. But yeah. Oh no, there it is. Now he's pulling it. And this is awkward. Luckily, the heal from the Voodoo Hexer, which is the one that you want to kick, like what the Inspired Mob is costing that heal, it's annoying, sure, but it's not really that strong. You want to kick the heal from the Hexer, and the tank decided to bring him in. I decided to start kicking him because he was free casting. There, still be mindful of the fact that the spirits will spawn, and I'm focusing down this Hexer really quick because I don't want the healing wave, which he then heals someone or himself to full, which is a shit show. And again, mindful of the spirits. And now we're on to the next boss, Hakkar. Hakkar is always a boss that I think is really hard, especially if people don't know what they're doing. So I'm gonna Hunter's Mark this guy, because you really want to make sure that he deals less damage when he pops his blood barrier. That's why I also say to the party, kill ads. It's so important in this fight to kill ads, because Hakkar will do his blood barrier, it will burst, it will hit everything, and everything it hits, like there you can see the Son of Hakkar, he lost about 70% of HP. That HP goes to the barrier of Hakkar. So if you use defensives, so as I did, I'm using my Hunter's Mark and my Feign Death, so I reduce the damage he deals to me, then he will get less HP, because he will deal less damage. If you kill the ads, then the ads will have less HP, so when he does his exploding bubble, as you can see, he will his barrier will get like lessened. Sadly, it was a very bad overlap, because now 2 times he actually did his barrier at the moment that the ads were like just resurrecting or just flying in. So that's really, really awkward, but yeah, you get the gist of it. And that is something that you really, on like boss week, on hierarchies, really you should be doing. That's why I'm focusing this Son of Hakkar. And that Blood Nova that he does is actually, it also hurts pretty badly. So yeah, here he goes, blood barrier again. I turtled this one because I don't want him to deal damage to me. If he doesn't deal damage to me, his barrier isn't getting any stronger. So this fight, you as a BM Hunter, or as every DPS, you can really, really, really make a difference in playing it right. So yeah, and the Blood Nova just actually also hits like a fucking truck, so you really want to kill that. As you can see, I'm currently just focusing the Sons of Hakkar, because here's the blood barrier again. Consider he doesn't have a big barrier now, and that's his like 3rd or 4th cast of the barrier. Normally that barrier will be a lot bigger because groups are not focusing down the little ads, and if the groups are not focusing down the little ads, then we would have had like 2, 3, maybe 4 Sons of Hakkar up. They will all got hit by the thing, and he would have had a massive shield which you had to burst through, which would have sucked. So yeah. Here I don't wait with using my wild spirits, because I know that I will have it back up by the time that I'm doing the next boss, and then when I go to my own platform. So yeah. Alright. We managed to finish him, but we only have like 1 minute 30 left, so we're not gonna time it. And so it's better to play it safe. I called which platform I was going. Always do that. Then the Demon Hunter had a add-on or something that he calls where we need to go. So I again communicate that I'm following the instructions and that I go back right. So many times I see in pugs, and I pug a lot, so many time in pugs, it's just a shit show because people are not either calling where they're going, or if there is an instruction being called, they don't acknowledge it. It's not that hard. Of course, it's hard if you don't speak English or read English, and then I can understand. But then put a question mark or something in the chat, something to let other people know what you're doing. It's so many times that people don't really communicate, and I think it's so incredibly annoying. But yeah, that's more of a personal frustration thing than anything else. This fight just it hits hard for the tank especially, but you have to do the mechanics right, and now you have to be aware of quaking as well, so you can't always just easily stack up on each other. What we have as BM, of course, we have our turtle at the ready. If you for some reason have to walk through these orbs because otherwise you will get hit by something, stuff like that, you can just, yeah, you can just easily use your turtle and you'll be fine. I'm not using Bestial Rat the entire time. Why is that? Because this phase, like we're going to this platform now, this is always I think a problem, and so I want to have Bestial Wrath up, so I deal the utmost amount of damage. This time it was a bit overkill because we had Bloodlust, and I have my IQD, and we have Aspect of the Wild and Wild Spirits, and so we're bursting this down very quickly this time. But yeah, better safe than sorry. So I decided to run to another platform. But yeah, you're not really. I'm this time. I'm not in time, and I don't think I would have made it in time to actually do something. And then we have the last part of this fight, which on boss week takes surprisingly long, as you will see. But yeah, as long as we keep doing the mechanics right, then we'll all be fine. But yeah, he has at 16%. Well, English. So yeah, we still have to go through quite a lot. And there, as you can see, we have our Aspect of the Wild up, and we used it on the platform at the same time as our Wild Spirits, and there's like a 45-second gap in between them. So you will know that at this moment, when we're not critting that much, that already we are dealing or reducing the cooldown by like 45 seconds ish. So that's actually really strong, and it's something that you yeah, I think you can shave off about a minute, maybe even more. So yeah, it's really strong. And this way you will get your cooldown spread out more, which does it's also good for your overall damage. It's not that great. Yeah, it's good for your overall damage because every fight you have your cooldown, so every fight you deal a decent amount of damage. But on the other hand, you will need the damage in bursts mostly in the Mythic Plus, so there it's not that great, you know. But yeah, that is the fight, and I hope you guys liked it. If you watched this all the way to the end and you have not subscribed yet to the channel, well then consider doing it. I think by now then it's something that you could and should do. And I thank you all so much for watching. I think we're gonna do a short little breakdown of the damage that I dealt. Let's see here. Yeah, there it is. 9.8k overall at the end of the dungeon. I'm gonna pause it here. So most of the damage, of course, Wild Spirits. That's just the way it goes, especially with this legendary. Then Barbed Shot. As you can see, the kill command it's a bit like off because I used different pets throughout the dungeon. I started with a different pet, so consider that kill command should be a little bit higher up on the list. But yeah, that is how the dungeon went. As you can see, Cobra Shot is also pretty high up because I was really focusing on one Cobra Shot, one kill command, one Cobra Shot, one kill command. So guys, that was the run. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.